Folks, for a lot of you viewers, today is the day you've been waiting for years on Tractor Time with Tim. And I got my friend Neil Messick here to get us a little insight on what's going on. Let's get started. Neil, I'm not too sure about this, but I'm ready to give it a try.
I'm excited to see what you're able to do with this and all the things that you can do to put it to work.
We drove all the way to Pennsylvania, 18 inches of snow right where we drove through.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly outside today, actually.
Yeah, there's hardly a place to park outside. In fact, we have this one little spot here in the shop where we can do a little bit of video, and that's about it on your whole facility. We purchased this tractor right here from Neil. It's an LX3310. I'll get you to tell me more about that.
Sure.
What do we got going?
What you're buying is an LX3310, R14 tires on it, and a front loader on with a skid steer coupler and a 60-inch bucket on the front. Incidentally enough, it's exactly the same setup as the tractor that I own.
So I guess that means you'd recommend it.
I would. I think highly of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen your tractor a couple times on the channel.
Yeah.
So this is the same as the 2610 physically, right?
So it's same as the 2650. So if we were coming from the B2650 would have been the older series tractor.
Okay.
As Kubota's now moved forward into the LX series, and LX3310 replaces what was the B3350.
Okay.
Step bigger than the B2601 than the small B. This is the big B series machine.
Okay, so this replaces the big Series B. They used to have the 2650 and the 3350.
Yep.
Now we have the LX3310 and the LX2610.
You got it.
Okay.
Lots of numbers.
And they're physically the same. The loader lift capacities will be the same.
Identical. Yep.
This one just has more horsepower. Is there any other differences?
So the biggest difference between those tractors is the horsepower, right?
Okay.
It's you're getting the 33 horse engine here as opposed to the 26. You have a lot of implements and stuff that are actually going to be able to put that horsepower to use. And for many, many people come in here, we find the 26 horse model is a lot more popular because they don't have that variety of PTO implements, but I know you're certainly going to be able to
It's really
work
on
the
the
tractor.
PTO, isn't
Yes,
it? I mean,
it is.
you might notice it a little bit on some ground engaging, maybe even with the loader when you're pushing into a pile or something,
Yeah.
but not as much then as the PTO.
Right.
Now, before we go any further, I want to explain, and I'm sure Neil wants to explain too, this is not sponsored in any sense. We bought this tractor from Neil. Kubota USA is not involved at all, right?
They're not. We've had a lot of conversation about this today, about the lack of impartiality and stuff when it comes to tractors on YouTube, right? There's a lot of freebie machines out there. There's a lot of owners have a certain bias to the tractor that they have, and very cool to see that you're maintaining that, right? So yes, I am selling this tractor to you. Kubota is not involved in this anyway. This is you making a machine about the tractor you own.
You might even be one of those guys that might just have just a little bit of bias.
No, Tim. I mean, I try, right? I try. You try to stay above board and be as objective to what we are. But I mean, yeah, it's many people come at things with a certain viewpoint,
we
right?
all
Selective
have a
viewpoint.
bias.
Yeah.
One thing I like to say is we all have a bias, but sometimes we can see through things. In other words, there's a character aspect to this too. When we see something that's objective, we should be able to objectively see that, and in spite of our bias.
Right. And there's so much lost, I feel. I mean, we were talking about this a little bit over lunch today of aspects of equipment ownership and feelings that you get from operating machinery that's lost out there and just isn't well conveyed. So I'm hopeful to see what you're able to do with this and actually putting some of those ownership experiences and conveying them to camera.
Yeah, it is really hard. When folks are looking to buy a new machine, they have the spec sheets. That's really all they have to go off of. It's really hard to know any more about the machines and what we've experienced in driving a variety of brands. I mean, we've driven a lot of different equipment now, a lot of difference. And that difference is subtle, and it's not easy to see in the specs.
Absolutely.
So we got some special options on this tractor. I thought maybe you'd kind of show it. I say some special. They're not really very many options on this tractor, but there are some unique ones.
So we set up a couple things for you that are going to help you demo and run the variety of implements that you have the chance to, right?
Yeah.
A lot of things that we generally don't do for very many owners, frankly. So rear remotes would be the first of those. Rear remotes on a tractor of this size are actually fairly uncommon. For us, it's probably 1 in every 25 machines are going to get a rear remote. But
yeah, and we've got 2 of them.
Yep.
Some examples, we can use that with the offset flail mower that we've got. We can use it with the hydraulic scarifiers on our box blade. And we've got a variety of other rear hydraulic attachments that we're going to be showing you in the future. You'll have to stay tuned for those.
So the one thing I was curious about is we also did a Power Beyond loop for you. So you have a continuous flow circuit coming out the back. Extremely uncommon on a small tractor like this. So where are you going with that?
I can't tell you.
Top secret.
Top secret, super secret. You got to stay tuned to our channel.
Hit the subscribe button.
No, we do have a plan for Power Beyond. Actually, we've got 2 different plans for Power Beyond that we'll be showing over the next several months. And one of them, I think, will be something that you don't sell here.
Okay.
And as far as I know, no dealer sells that I've ever seen on YouTube. So it'll be unique.
I'm watching for this one.
We're looking, it's a 1 million view video happening right there, Neil. You can watch it 1 million times and it'll be 1 million views. Now on the back, I've got some special little ratchet here for the top or the lift link. How does this work?
So this being a deluxe tractor is going to come through with a deluxe 3-point hitch, right? So you have sway bars and you also have a ratcheting adjustment in order to change the leveling in the left, right of your machine. And that is an option on this series tractor, actually. Fairly inexpensive to get from the factory, but a lot nicer than sitting there and taking your wrist and cranking around at the turnbuckles over and over.
We've equipped this with a quick hitch.
Right.
This is the QH15.
Yes. Yeah, glad to see you get one of these. And when we were talking about quality differences, it will be interesting to be able to see, because you have several of these, yes? You have the John Deere version, do you have others?
Yeah, I have a John Deere version, then I have what we just call the import version. Because essentially everybody has identical quick hitch. From these, the Speco, the Harbor Freight, if you look them close, they're all identical.
Okay.
And they're about, I don't know, the third the weight of this.
Yeah. So we put on a ton of these on these tractors because Kubota counts them as an implement. And then when you're doing your multi-implement discounts, you effectively can get quick hitches for free.
Okay.
Right. So they are thrown in as sold along with many tractors. So in your case, this is your second implement to get all the discounts possible from Kubota.
With the loader being my first implement.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. And that sort of hides this feature. This is the extendable lift arms.
Yep. Yeah, so on some of these tractors, those are going to be standard equipment. On this ROPS version, that's an option. So you've equipped this with the extendable link arm. So you can push that tab down and then slide the ball end out to make it easier to get your implements on.
It's a little harder to illustrate when you have the quick hitch on, and it's really not as useful when the quick hitch is on.
Right.
But if you're backing up to a 3-point implement, a lot of times it's hard to get that perfect. And if you can have that flexible, extendable link arm, that's a
little
really
redundancy there, but interesting stuff to be able to show.
I really wanted these hybrid tires. They are all the rage. And when we were setting up the deal, you told me you couldn't get them.
I have not been able to get.
I told you that it was a part of the deal. I had to have these tires.
And you got them. But they came off of my tractor, Tim. So I've wanted to have R14 tires for the videos that I've been doing, but it looks like I don't get to keep them because they're headed to Indiana with you.
So you do whatever it takes to make a deal.
I'll get a
Crazy Neil's deals.
Crazy Neil's deals. It's been 4 months that I've been trying to get an extra set of R14 tires, and they had to come off of my tractor.
Well, I kind of said here I'd be happy to sell you.
Oh, that's good. We might be shipping them back.
No, these tires, there's several different brands of these tires right now. All the rage to have these kind of hybrid, as you call them. They're sort of like an industrial tire, but sort of like a turf tire.
Yeah, they play a lot of funny in-betweens, right? And the number would also kind of throw some ag tire in there too, right? You have these V-treads, but there's some R4 construction, there's some more turf friendliness to them. Yeah. So it's an interesting best of all worlds. It's an easy tire to sell, right? Because you can kind of give this pitch of all these benefits. I was wanting to run them myself before you took them, but it'll be cool to see how they actually work out, because we've got the sales pitch, but there's not a whole lot of ownership experience out there at this point. So it'll be cool to actually be able to see some of that as you get out and start running these things.
My understanding is that in this 18 inches of snow, you actually had my tractor out yesterday, which I'm going to charge you rent for, to move your snow. How did these tires work for you out there?
So really was happy for them in that. I mean, it's that you'll see an R4 tire can still pack up with snow a little bit. They cleaned out really, really well. I thought they were very attractive. I think I most noticed it on my front end. You know how when you're pushing snow, it's hard to kind of keep the tractor in line with where you want it to go?
Yeah, I mean, your loader, it begins to pick up your front wheels.
Yes.
Especially if you try to run and float. So,
and I felt that was a little bit better. So owning these would be cool because I'm excited to see kind of how that ownership side works out, where us dealers and the industry as a whole has ordered way short on these tires. And again, I've been trying to get another set for 4 months. There's a lot of benefits here, and seeing what happens will be cool.
I'm really sorry you don't have any. It's too bad.
Oh, I know. I feel your sympathy, I guess.
So we're having a little look under the hood here. Now, again, you're saying this replaced the B3350, and this is where the biggest change happened. Right.
So the B3350 has been problematic, if we're honest about it. There's some very happy owners of them, but generally they're in warmer climates. That tractor's had some trouble regenning at low temperatures. So this is a complete swap out of the top end of what would be on the engine here. So you have a traditional DPF, common rail fuel injection, a more traditional emission system versus what's on the B3350.
Okay, this one's going to last for me.
This one is going to last, and it also runs much better. I mean, we've run enough diesel engines by this point. There's a nice purr, smooth purr that you get from a common rail. It runs well. The exhaust is clean. It meets all the government hoo-ha without a whole lot of drama, call it that.
Okay. How often do I expect a regen?
It really depends on how you're running the tractor. So a machine like this, if you're running it hot and hard, you're going to be around every 30 to 40 hours. If you putt your loader around all those times that in a traditional diesel that you get that black smoke coming out, you're capturing that black smoke now. So if you avoid those black smoke situations, you regen a whole lot less often. So in the wrong circumstance, an operator doing the right stuff could probably regen every 10 or 12 hours, but most people are going to get up into that 30 or 40.
Okay, okay. That sounds good. Really, not a whole lot of other changes from the B3350?
And the tractor itself, no. So a lot of what's happened here has been a lot of option kits and stuff that we can do with the loader now. Maybe we could show you a couple of those.
Okay, let's get the hood down. I see that I have a pin here to pull.
You have a pin, which sounds like it's a little different than some of what you've had in the past. You'll see there's a number of holes here in the side of the loader post, and that's for a number of optional accessory kits. So things like self-leveling for your loader. There's some spots down here where your third function valve will attach, and a swift attach, that release from the seat ability. And we made some intentional decisions not to put that stuff on specifically so you'd have some opportunities to make some videos and stuff with it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Besides, I'm cheap when I'm spending my own money, right? Just to repeat a little of that, you can transform this loader into a self-leveling loader by just adding a kit. I don't have to replace the whole loader.
Right. So one of the things that I like about this particular loader is it can be a cheaper economy loader by putting on pin-on buckets and leaving all the accessory kits off, or you can make it an extremely deluxe loader with all the doodads and stuff by accessorizing it properly. And you could choose to do that years down the road. It's not something that you have to make that decision up front when you're buying the machine. If you find value in, say, self-leveling because you're doing a lot of pallet fork work, you can add that at any point.
Okay, okay, that sounds good. And to remove the loader, I put the feet down up there, and then I remove the pressure on the pin, pull it out.
And you're going to become a pro at it.
I'm already a pro, but not at this. No, I understand. Yeah, it probably will take just a few minutes, though. It doesn't really look that complicated. In fact, it looks very similar to what I've seen on most brands of tractors.
Right.
Now, Neil, my local Kubota dealer is probably going to be upset because I came all the way out here to Pennsylvania to buy from you. I did that because, well, we've had a little bit of a relationship in the past. We've been here before, and I enjoy your videos, and there's just something about the camaraderie of you two.
There's a relationship here, and I think a respect that we have for what each other does, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the two of us definitely do our best to make the best videos that we can, as objective as we can through our own individual lens at times. But yeah, it's great to be able to share and work together in this kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why we made the trip. I mean, we could have bought this from our local dealer, and our trip here last time, I have to say we were pretty impressed with the dealership. And even today, there's not a place to park anywhere around. There's trucks coming and going, and there's all kinds. This is probably the most active Well, definitely the most active Kubota dealership that I've ever been in.
There's a lot that goes on here, and it's cool to be able to show it off too, and have people appreciate that and understand that from being around. I should qualify too. I mean, you come from a ways away, and we did this because of a relationship, but both of us sell the virtues of local dealerships.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. We're not trying to say that everyone should drive hours and hours and hours to buy from Neil. I don't think you would want that. In fact, you've been concerned a little about taking care of us on the back end because of that.
I mean, I put 5 hours on your tractor. Went out and pushed some snow with it the other day, partly because we want to verify and make sure that this thing's good to go down the road, because you're hard to reach out to, right? And that's a lot of what we do is not just selling tractors. That's a small part of the ownership experience here. It is what this looks like over the long term. It's the parts, the service, it's making sure you've got the thing accessorized right, it's selling the implements as your needs change, and relationships are really important in this business. This is not like buying a car.
That's right.
So many people equate this way.
There is going to be stuff on any tractor that you deal with. I mean, a lot of times with tractors, you're destroying stuff. You're running into stuff with your front end loader. You're being rough on them, and so there's going to be stuff break.
Right. So get clear, we're doing this because of our relationship, right? And we're going to do our best to help Tim out with everything that comes up. And if I don't hear from you, I'm going to be disappointed. But it's not something that we're encouraging other people to do.
That's right. That's right. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. No, we've still got some green here, and we've still got some green here. And I'll try to get Neil maybe one. No, he won't take one of these green shirts.
Not going to happen.
But seriously, we do have a great relationship, and we've had a lot of fun so far, Neil. Maybe sometime you'll have to come out to Indiana and play with it with us.
Like that. That'd be fun.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
Exactly.
I don't know what that was.
Somebody's yelling.
What else do we do at that point?
We're going to give you a lot of good outtakes here, all the way, I'm sure.